Welcome out in the Swedish woods. As most of you people know that follow me, I prefer to make a start of a video out in the wild, in some nice setting and good lighting. So this is where we are going to take a first look at the Cheburkov Russkiy. The full size, not the mini. And here it is in all its glory. As you can see, or maybe you can't see it because it's difficult capturing it, but the blade here is a Damascus pattern blade that is quite exceptional, but also quite hard to capture on video. We have some really nice carbon fiber scales, super clean, no voids, no nothing, no transition to the titanium bolster, just a piece of art, but at the very same time a tool meant to be used, which is what I'm going to do, both in this video, but also off camera, of course. Give me a second, I'm gonna try to switch hands. Yeah, look at that. The mark of Cheburkov. Maybe we can try to find some sun to really show off the carbon scales here. Well, it's not much, but it is a bit of sun here. Perhaps we can catch some details of sorts. Yeah, look at that. Stunning looking, right? Man, I love the look of carbon fiber and Damascus as well. Really nice combo. See if I can zoom in a bit here. We're getting slightly out of focus sadly, but that's not easy. Some pretty sweet grind lines as well. The Damascus is nice looking. So this one will be a joy to review as well. I can say right away that it is absolutely shaving sharp. Maybe I will actually try to shave something, but I don't have that much arm hair and leg hair left, since I always use that for my sharpness tests, and other parts of my body, well, I'm not completely certain I want to record that. But a beautiful knife it is, indeed. So it is now time for the official or semi-official unboxing of the Russkiy, my sort of special version of this folder. We have of course already seen it in the beginning of this video in another more nice and natural setting than this white table. But you know, an unboxing should be included in a full review, or that is what I think at least, and we will also go over the full specs here. So let's start by looking at the box. This is what the box looks like. Some text in Russian that I wanted to say something about Cheburkov here, but I'm actually not quite sure what it says. Here we have some contact information like email address, telephone numbers, web page, etc. And on the side here we have something that is actually readable by me, and that says that this one is a Cheburkov Russkiy Damascus carbon fiber with bolster. So this is a bit of a special Russkiy, not your standard one for sure. So let's open the box up here like this. And we are greeted with a certificate of authenticity and the knife itself. There are no like stickers or extra stuff or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward. Certificate of authenticity and knife. And the certificate of authenticity is this plastic card here. You got some signatures here on the back side of the card, probably some information about the maker. You got some sort of stamp. And on the front side you have a photo of the model or the base model of the knife you ordered, or that is in the box, being the Russkiy. This one is in plain titanium, no carbon fiber, no bolster, no Damascus blade, and that is because they use one and the same photo on all, you know, the certificate of authenticities, or the same photo for the specific model. Just letting you know, we got some specs going on here, and then we have some signatures and a stamp here. So let's actually use the certificate of authenticity to go over the specs. Let's see. Yeah, this is the box here. We have this foam cutout for the knife, and there should be nothing else in here. This is it, but it is, you know, quite sufficient at that. So the knife itself, with some nice carbon fiber here, and some titanium bolsters, titanium pocket clip, etc. But let's start with the specs here right away. So looking at this certificate of authenticity, it says that overall length of this knife, overall length is 230 millimeters, with a closed length. Let's close it like that. With a closed length of 125 millimeters. Next up we have the blade length, which should be 105 millimeters, and a blade thickness or spine thickness of 4 millimeters. So let's see if we can get here we actually have a lot of the full spine thickness here, and then it goes down to the to a sort of a swedge grind here as well. But 4 millimeters, so this is not a thin knife like that. It is a semi-thick knife. Let's see. The weight of the knife, I just can't find it specified here on the card. So we will have to do some work ourselves and put it on a scale here, and that will tell us that the weight of this one is 120 grams. So it's, you know, given its size, it is somewhere, you know, not really light but not really heavy, somewhere in between. I'd say. Let's take a look at some of the details going on here. So, like I stated, carbon fiber, not marbled, more like I'm not sure if you call it like straight grain or anything, but non-marbled carbon fiber, and it looks really good. It's super smooth, and you can almost not feel the transition here to the titanium bolster, and that goes for both sides. The pocket clip here is well, kind of deep carry, so semi-deep carry. It's not, you know, any parts protruding or anything. It is smoothly rounded as well. Should not give you any problems with hot spots, etc. The blade here is, let's see if I can pronounce it, ZDI 1016. It looks very much to me like, you know, some sort of Damas steel. It is just, you know, it's just specified as Damascus. But I have no previous experience with this blade steel. I do have a fixed blade from Cheburkov that I got in the same order as this one, but I have yet to put that knife to any real, you know, work. And to me, these are not just, you know, show pieces; they are knives to be used. So it will be interesting to read up a bit on the steel here and put the knife to some actual use. So let's take some more look here on the flipper tab here. It is kind of a small, you know, not a very pronounced flipper tab. Not sure how well it can be seen here in the camera. And there are 3 lines here of jimping, and it's also ground in a way that gives you a fairly good grip. So it may be a small flipper tab, but it's not difficult, you know, getting a grip and opening the knife. Looking here at the spine of the knife, let's see, we can see that there is some jimping going on here, some fine jimping, not super aggressive, but you do get a fair amount of friction, which, I mean, if you press on it, you do get a pretty good solid grip here. Your thumb won't just go away with ease. The knife, the opening action is really nice. I guess we can of course also take a look at the closing action as well. And it is really nice as well. See, it's difficult for me to place the knife in a good way here. I want to, like, you know, how should I do it? Yeah, it's harder than you think to get a good, you know, placement here in the camera. But the action and the closing action is pretty smooth. Absolutely. It does not require a lot of effort to close this knife, but it's difficult getting it to show in the camera. The locking mechanism here is, I think that this one is the Russkiy in its standard edition. I think that is actually a frame lock, but given that this is a special version of the Russkiy, it comes with a bolster lock of sorts, or is it a liner lock? I think this, you know, yeah, I'm actually not 100% sure if you call it a liner lock or a bolster lock. Regardless, it is not a frame lock. And the lockup here is, I'd say, what should I say? Like, it looks more like 10% or something, which is actually not a whole lot, but it is sufficient, I'd say, still. It looks like it could, you know, like it could break in a bit more here and become like at least 20%, but at 20% it would stop here due to the
due to the design. Let's see if we can get the details to show here. Not that easy. I'm not worried about it, you know, failing in any way. I doubt that will happen, but it is. I wouldn't have mind some, you know, like at least like 15% or perhaps 20% lockup. That would have been very nice and, you know, made me feel a little bit more secure, so to say. There is no blade play. Not sideways, not, you know, not vertical or horizontal, and there is no lock stick either, which is a good thing. But the lockup is, yeah, it is. I wouldn't have mind a bit more. That is probably my only, not grudge, but my only sort of. I don't want to say the word complaint, but I guess that is probably the correct word. Still, I think it will give me no issues. Looking here, we have some. We don't have a typical lanyard hole, but we do have a lanyard back. I'm not even sure what to call it. You can place a lanyard here on the back part, the very end of the back spacer here of the knife, should you want to use a lanyard. I'm not much for lanyards, but you know, we're all different in terms of that. Looking at the blade centering, always interesting. So as you can see here, or as we can hopefully see, the blade is 100% centered, which is of course highly appreciated. So pretty much, you know, impeccable fit and finish. The blade, the Damascus pattern here and everything looks really nice. It's hard to capture, of course, on video, but it does look really nice. The blade shape here is a bit different from most of my folders, with this almost, I mean, it's a drop point, but it feels almost like a, you know, that it's venturing into like sheepfoot territory of sorts. It also reminds me a little bit about the Olamic's cutlery swish, which I don't own, but I've seen a few photos and a video or two of it. But I do appreciate this this blade design. Let's see if we can get some close up. So is that it? I think we have gone over most of the aspects here of this knife now. Unboxing and specs, action, and, you know, yeah, everything to it. And my only wish would have been for a slightly better or a slightly more percentage in lockup, but it's definitely not the end of the world. Oh, we should probably talk about size, by the way. I wear size 10 in gloves, fairly large hands. Placing this one in the middle of my palm like this gives you some, you can see you have some extra space for like one extra finger, should you have one. It is a very comfortable knife. It is, I will say though, that it is sort of on the thick side due to the titanium here and the carbon fiber inlays on each side, and the bolster makes it, you know, thicker than the regular Russkiy. Not a big issue for me since I have fairly large hands regardless, but it is it does feel quite a bit bigger than the Cheburkov Goodson, for example, like twice in thickness. It feels like it probably isn't, but that is the feeling I get. So that should conclude the unboxing and the specs for the Russkiy. I think I forgot to show the balance point of this knife, the Russkiy. So let's take a look at where it is. So you can see that the knife is sort of back heavy. We would have maybe preferred to have the balance point more up on the bolster, but due to the handle being as thick and heavy as it is, this is where we get the balance point. But that is a non-issue in my opinion. In hand and in use, I mean, you won't notice that at all. It feels absolutely the way you want it to feel in hand. So not an issue with the balance point whatsoever. Now we can conclude the unboxing and specs part for the Russkiy. It's now time to put this blade to the test. In a sharpness test of sorts, we're gonna slice 3 different kinds of paper. I'm gonna show it here real fast. We're gonna slice some regular printing paper, which is sometimes the most challenging paper. I'm not quite sure why. Probably something with the paper grains or something like that. We're also gonna slice some magazine paper, which is, you know, fairly thin magazine paper. And then we're gonna have a finale with newspaper paper that is of course really thin, and it's also a bit windy now, so that provides an extra challenge to it. So let's start off with the regular printing paper. So here we have some printing paper. So we are making quick work of the printing paper. Now the wind catches on. I don't want to run around all over the garden to try to save this. Pick it up. But I will say that slicing printing paper is no challenge for the Russkiy here. We pretty much shredded the printing paper, and that is actually not a bad accomplishment. Like I said, sometimes this type of printing paper can provide quite a challenge for different knives or different kinds of edges. But here, like I said, we completely shredded the paper. Pretty much a 10 out of 10 performance, in my opinion, or 9.5. It could be slightly finer perhaps, but definitely really good performance. So let's proceed with magazine paper. Still like, I don't know, maybe like this then. Well, as we can see, this knife is sharp. It's making some really fine cuts here. I'll try to move the knife a bit when cutting now to see if we can provide more of a challenge to the edge. Oops. It seems to be not that hard for the knife to keep slicing it. So yeah, this is a short knife. So there we go. A shredded magazine, all with fine, clean cuts. Definitely good. So let's take this away, and we can move on to the grand finale of the paper slicing, which is of course the newspaper paper. So let's see how we will fare here. This is the wind catches it. Hopefully we can have it lay it semi-flat here on the table. This is actually pretty impressive stuff, I'd say. Let's go for another piece here as well. I mean, I realize this might not look very impressive, but you know, knowing what type of paper this is, it actually is pretty impressive stuff. So slicing the newspaper paper, we shredded it sort of, really nice clean cuts again. I mean, I'd rate the cutting or the paper slicing capabilities of this knife like, you know, 9.5 or 10. It really does, you know, quick and fine work of all the types of papers that we threw at it. So impressive stuff, really. The time has now come to put the Russkiy to its first real, practical use. We do know that this knife will cut paper, and it will cut paper really nicely. Now we want to cut something that is, you know, slightly more useful than paper. So we're gonna do a we're gonna slice a couple of different fruits and vegetables. So on the vegetable side, we're gonna slice some tomatoes, a paprika, aubergine and a cucumber. In terms of fruit, we're gonna slice up 2 oranges, 1 banana, 1 apple, some grapes, a kiwi and a pear or pear. Not 100% sure to pronounce that. So let's get going, shall we? Let's start with the vegetables, and let's start with the yellow paprika here. Just, you know, just flows right through or glides through. More or less effortless. Or it is, I would say it is effortless. Not more or less. We should say it how it really is, right? Let's see.
great control of the blade here actually. It's really nice. So we are slowly but surely getting there. Just gonna remove the seeds, which should not be eaten or digested. Have to get them out of the way. And now we can start slicing these up a bit. So this is, I mean, it just breezes through the paprika. Man, there are some hidden seeds here and there. Is it? Yeah, here is one more. I mean, one or two seeds won't kill anyone, but I do know that it should not be eaten. Really nice ergos working with here. Handle is working like a charm. So now we have a lot of sliced up pieces of paprika. So let's make them slightly smaller. Let's make them into small dices of sorts. Can we get them all here? Might be a bit overkill. I think this is a bit of an overkill perhaps. I like a good challenge. So this was a paprika, a complete whole paprika not long ago. Now it is just about 100 plus pieces of a paprika to be added to the vegetable plate. Let's see. So actually quite a lot of paprika. Really nice looking paprika, really juicy. My hands are getting a bit wet and sticky. So that was the paprika. Let's proceed with let's go with some cucumber perhaps. Slice up some, round pieces here. We need something like this to, make the plate look nice. Mixing some colors and some different sizes. So here we have just a bunch of pieces like this that will be put on the
vegetable plate here. And can make something else as well. Let's remove this part here. Then we go like that. Let's make some, you know, like, what should we call them? Cucumber sticks of sorts. Like that. Could actually make them half in size. And then we can put these on the plate as well. Something like that, perhaps. Yeah. And then we can, let's remove that part to make it more symmetrical, and then we can go for some dicing here as well. So now, I mean, we do have all. Oh wait, we can do. Let's go with these half moons on the plate as well, and then we can take. It will look good on the plate here, I think. So that's why we're gonna go with them like that. But we should also, in the name of science, we should do some other. Let's see. Like if we have a taco evening, these are kind of large actually. And we want some pieces like this. Some, you know, sort of semi-diced up. Maybe not, you know, that thick, but there we go. Now we have some, you know, diced up cucumber like that to put on the plate as well. Yeah, lots of differently sliced cucumber on the plate. That's for sure. See, lost. No, not lost. We do have two vegetables left. We have the aubergine and we have the tomato, and I think we're gonna go with aubergine because the tomato is, I know that this tomato is quite watery, so let's go with the less watery stuff to begin with. So now we have some rounded pieces like this. I sometimes do this, you know, make them into like pizza slices or pie slices, you know, doing like that. Turn it around, do it like this, turn it around a bit, do it like that, and then finally like that. So now we have a bunch of, you know, pie slice or pizza shaped slices here. Let's put them on the side here. I kind of wanted some round ones as well. Let's remove this one, which just turned out to be not really symmetrical. I do want a few round pieces as well to put on the plate. Let's go with this. And then I also wanted, let's see, this may not be the most beautifully cut aubergine you have ever seen, but you know, just, you know, in terms of a sharpness test, things will be a bit different. Now we have a few pieces like this, half moon pieces as well to put here. And with this one we can do something else. We can, you know, dice it up instead. Oops. So I can dice them up even further, should we want to. Yeah, like, you know, just, you know, diced up a bit here. Like that. Oh, my back is kind of killing me. So put these on the plate as well. Now we have the final vegetable, and usually the most challenging one as well. And that is of course the tomatoes here. Let's start by doing some, you know, full round slices. Let's remove that one right away. This tomato is super watery. All the ones that I bought here were really extremely watery. You never, you know quite sure what you're gonna get until you start cutting into them a bit. But there are, I mean, it is no issues here to going through the peel in any way. We sliced it up fairly nicely here. No hiccups, no nothing. This one is too thin, I think, perhaps. So I'm gonna place these on the plate. Somewhere on the plate. It's getting crowded on this vegetable plate. So let's do something different with this one then. We can do like this. Some people like it like this in salads or whatnot, or just, you know, yeah. That. And then we can try to dice this one a bit. Gonna go slightly thicker than usual because this tomato is, well, it's not like the tomatoes I like to work with. It gets away. Good challenge though, but yeah. So a somewhat sliced up tomato and some, I don't know what you call these kinds of pieces here, but they're all going to the plate now regardless. See, super watery. Let's see if we can fit everything together here some way. Let's see, let's like that. So this is the vegetable plate after having sliced up the paprika, the aubergine, the tomato, the cucumber, and that was perhaps, yeah, that was probably it actually. So quick work of that. Really good slicing capabilities, no doubt about that. Now is the time to proceed with the fruit plate. And like I showed you before, we do have some different fruits here to pick from. Not really sure what we're gonna start with. Might start with I think we're gonna start with a banana here, actually. And after that, well, we will just see what I feel for. So this part doesn't look very nice, so we're gonna remove that one right away. Well, I mean, it didn't look very nice, but you could of course have eaten it regardless. It's not like it's gonna kill you. And I know that no normal working person is gonna slice a banana like this, but I just feel like doing some different types of slicing here while, on camera. Let's remove this part. I can do like that. Then we can, what can we do? Some banana sticks. Of sorts. I mean, I know this is kind of weird, all this, but it is a sharpness test. Let's remove that. So now we have sliced a banana in a way that you rarely see people slice a banana, and for good reasons too, of course. So let's put these things on the fruit plate here now. So if we are gonna continue to slice fruits in weird ways, then we might as well go to this one, the pear, right away, because this is also something I'm gonna slice up in some really weird way here. So, and once again, I mean, this is a sharpness test, and well, this is what we are doing. So let's put it on the plate. Can also, I mean, yeah, we can also slice this kiwi because it's gonna be strangely sliced as well. Yeah. Maybe we should actually have done something like, remove the actual meat here from the non-edible peel.
but it's, you know, it's really, it's going into this. Yeah, we should have done this earlier, I think. Yeah, I can't slice it here because I'm gonna destroy this piece if I do it. But yeah. So off to the plate, I guess. There we go. I'm gonna go with a bonus kiwi here, just so that we can, you know, actually remove the meat from it. Slice it up like this, and then we can cut, you know, cut like this, and throw away the. Oh, there was a tiny bit of peel left here. Here we go. Surgical precision, right? Did we miss? Oh, everything is removed. Oops. So we can throw away the peels. Then we can add these small pieces here to the fruit plate. There we go. Try to make this plate look not too awful to show in the camera. It's proving to be a bit of a challenge. Oh well, let's see what we have next here on the list. So I think we're gonna go with the apple now. Remove the seed house, the final seed. Then we'll do the very same procedure on this one. Oops, too sharp perhaps. Cut clean through. So let's do some slicing here. Like, you know, slicing for an apple pie, perhaps. Trying to get fairly thin pieces. These pieces that I'm cutting here are probably too thin to work good for an apple pie. So just, you know, addressing it. Boy, did we slice it really fine. So had it been slightly thicker, it would have been great for an apple pie. But for a sharpness test, it works really good. So let's add them here, beside the kiwi perhaps. Yeah. And what are we gonna do with these? Not sure. Perhaps just slice up like this. Yeah, I don't know. Just some random pieces here to be put on the fruit plate. This one. Yeah. What are we gonna do with this one? Perhaps eat it? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I seriously don't know. I'm just cutting it up in some random way like that. So we now have two fruits left here. We have the grapes and we have the oranges. And I think we are gonna go with the grapes. And then the oranges will be the grand finale of sorts. Yeah, this should be more than enough. So let's just start by slicing them like in half. That wasn't very hard. That was in fact super easy. Let's slice them the other way around. Just like that. Really easy as well. Let's cut them like that then. Yeah. So I mean, this knife will cut through anything in terms of fruits and vegetables, and it will do it with ease. We can do some fine slicing here. I'm not sure how visible this is in the camera, but we sliced this grape up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perhaps you can slice it up in, there we go, in 12 pieces. So this knife is, it is a great grape slicer, no doubt. We can also slice one grape like this. Yeah. Yeah, well, there are apparently a lot of different ways to slice a grape. Let's put it in here somewhere, perhaps in the middle. There we go. Just like this, perhaps, sort of. Yeah. And now we have the grand finale with the oranges. Now it's gonna get a bit sticky, I'd say. My hands are already kind of sticky. And the blade too, I reckon. So let's start by doing full, full round pieces here. Let's remove this. Cutting right through the seeds here of the orange. You know, the blade length is sufficient, but it's now that I'm starting to notice, you know, that you need, well, the importance of blade length when doing certain types of cuts. Let's skip that, but we did slice it up in, you know, a fair amount of pieces, which will now be placed here on the fantastic looking fruit plate. Actually, it's not that bad looking. Could be nicer, but I mean, we take it for what it is. The result of a sharpness test. We also have one more orange, so that one we can slice in some different. Oops, that was a bit random of me. We can do some regular pieces like this. So there we go. Let's put these on the plate as well. And then we can, well, I don't know, let's do some half moons or something. Yeah, just like that. And place them here also somewhere on the plate. So, the fruit plate is now completed. It looks like this. So here we have the oranges we just sliced, the grapes, the pear, the banana, the kiwi, and the apple. So turned out pretty good. So let's put it beside, once again, the vegetable plate we just did as well. And you know, I am by no means any chef or anything, but and I'm not claiming that this looks really good or anything, but this is a sharpness test, and I will say that in the kitchen the Russkiy will perform great. The handle ergos are great for working with, the blade shape, blade design, everything as well. It is a fantastic slicer in my opinion. So working with this in the kitchen, you can feel, you know, confident that this knife will perform great. So I think this is you know, the wrap up of the fruits and vegetables slicing test. As you can see, we have now changed the fruits and vegetables to something a bit harder. A few pieces of wood here, and what we're gonna do now is make some feathers, do some feather sticking using the Cheburkov Russkiy here. So I'm gonna pick one of these pieces, and then we're gonna see what we can accomplish. So let's see. So here we have a piece of wood, and I've zoomed in a bit so that we can better see the hopefully nice curly feather sticking action.
And I will say that this knife is not a knife that I consider a woodworking knife. I consider this one to be a really nice slicer, but doing some fine feathers, I think it should be able to do that. I think it will carve, etc. But I'm not sure we're gonna do any carving or notches and stuff like that in this video. But I do want to try to make nice feathers at least. So let's give it a go here, shall we? Yeah, it made something, but it fell off. So this one too. This one is the first that actually sticks to the wood piece here. So yeah, it's a start at the very least. That was some really nice curls. I'm gonna take a closer look at that later. Some nice curls again, but that got away from the So we are getting some, you know, well, some curls are better or nicer looking than others. Some are kind of on the big side, but I mean, it's still gonna be functional. So I mean, if you see, I'm gonna remove this now. So if you are out in the woods, let's put some of these stuff here as well. And you need to make some feathers, and this is the only knife you're carrying. And hopefully you're carrying some matches and perhaps a fire steel. Then I mean, this will still work to you know, to make a base of feathers. You might have to make some more, but I mean, it is still not too bad. I will say that the performance by the Goodson was better than the performance here of the Russkiy, but like, you know, it still will make you know, feathers. So yeah, and I would say that this knife makes feathers better than many other knives. And this one is definitely not a dedicated feather sticker in any sense or way. So yeah, feathers we made. This video review started out in the woods because it is a nice setting to show off a knife. And I've also decided that this is the setting in which we will end the video. We are going to do something that I was not originally planning to do, especially not with this Cheburkov folder, the Russkiy in Damascus. But I have decided that we will try to do some light wood carving, you know, just to have it included in the video, because there are not many, you know, user videos out there. So I want to make it you know, as comprehensive as possible. But I'm not, you know, 100% sure how I feel about using this one for wood carving, but I will use it for it regardless. So let's get going. Now we are a bit zoomed in here, so it should make it slightly easier to see when we put this knife to use, but I might actually get up and stand quite close to the camera so we don't miss any of the action. And like I stated, you know, the Russkiy I wasn't planning on any heavy use, but we do have some different types of trees here. And I'm gonna go with this piece, which is actually it's actually quite on the thick side, but it's a bit broken up here already. Hard dry, but let's see if we can make a spear-like shape here. We do have some help already, and I'll try to do my best to stay in the camera. So this knife, it bites quite deep. If you wanted to, we could make really nice feathers, and then we were, you know, not pushing it quite as hard as we are right now. See if we can start to thin it down a bit here. So I mean, it is still it's not on the thick side, but I mean, it was the piece itself is rather thick, so it's, you know, it's hard to make a barbecue skewer out of something that is of this size, you know, this original size. But we have already managed to make it kind of pointy at least. Could of course make it finer. We can try another wood piece as well here for it. We can also try to make a, or do we want to go and make a notch with this one? Yeah, let's make a small notch here. Is this visible in the camera, perhaps? But this tree is really hard because it's so dry. I'm gonna go like that. Then we can start. Yeah, it's really hard. Try to once again make it a bit deeper. It's so easy to get out of the camera, you know, it's so zoomed in. Maybe I should stand like more over here. It's still gonna be visible, I think. So I think this is actually, you know, I think it's pretty sufficient already, but let's go for a bit more. Yeah, let's go with that. So now we have this, we did make a pointed tip, and we also made this notch here as well. Really, you know, smooth and functional at that. So beautiful tool, not just a collector's piece or a show piece. This one can actually be put to real life use at home, out in the woods, or yeah, wherever you are at. So pointed tip and a notch. I think that's gonna be enough for this right now. Not that it can't take it, but I mean, it gets, you know, we have proven a point, I feel like. Yeah. So this is the setting that I picked to make or record my final thoughts and conclusions about the Cheburkov Russkiy. And I realized that I'm sitting, you know, with the sun directly behind me, that I probably just look like a shadow or a silhouette of sorts. But we have seen the knife quite a lot this past hour, or I think this review is going to be over an hour, perhaps 1.5 even. Not quite sure. But we have seen this knife a lot, so I mean, it is okay to have it the way it is right now. But I want to say that the Russkiy here is probably, I can imagine this being like the first, perhaps one of the first designs that Cheburkov made. Bolt, don't venture too far away now, please. Both in terms of, you know, he made it in a folder version, and he also made it as a fixed blade. But I reckon the folder came first. It has, you know, sort of a special blade design compared to many of his other knives, which have more, what should I say, more, oh, I can't find a word, like normal or regular blade designs. So this is one of his more different blade shapes. Bolty, please, boy, come here. Come. Yeah, come here. You want me to throw the toy into the water? Come here, boy, come. Hey, boy. Are you going on an adventure on your own? You wanna, let's see. I'm sorry for interrupting this part a tad bit here. So let's go for this one, Bolt. You see this one? So I just bought myself 30 seconds doing that. So this one, I will admit it, I got it primarily because it was a nice, or not nice, a stunning looking blade. The Damascus, the titanium bolsters, the impeccable carbon fiber. It was just, you know, a really nice piece. Then again, you know, I'm not really a collector of sorts. Or well, maybe I am. You know, I should probably consider a collector. I do have quite a few folders, and especially fixed blades. But I am also a person that likes to use his knife, not just have them as you know, collectibles or show pieces. And I was not 100% sure how this knife was going to perform. I mean, I realized that it would probably have a semi-sharp edge and slice paper and stuff, but I wasn't sure how it would perform in the kitchen, slicing fruits and vegetables, and I was especially not sure about how it would perform out in the woods. You know, like feather sticking or wood carving, making notches, etc. But now we know that it will perform doing those tasks. I will admit that I didn't, you know, put it into, you know, any really super hard wood tests. But I mean, this one, to me, this one will be a slicer, much like the Cheburkov Goodson, which will be more like a dedicated slicer. But at least I know they will work, you know, work well in other situations, doing other tasks, etc. So overall, this is a knife that I've had fun using it, and it is a nice knife to just look at when not using it, and it is, you know, kind of fun to just flip open and closing here. And it got some really nice closing action, and it got some really nice opening action as well. So, and the fit and finish, like I've stated here earlier, especially during the unboxing and the specifications here, you know, the fit and finish is more or less impeccable. That much I will say. I'm not sure how it ranks, if I should rank it with the rest of my Cheburkovs, but all I know is that I rank my Goodson the highest. But I really enjoy all my knives from Cheburkov. They're all great tools, exceptional knives, both the fixed blades and the folders. So I think that will conclude this this segment here. Trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten. I really can't think of anything more to say other than that I highly recommend this knife, as I do with all knives that I have personally tried from Cheburkov, since they have all been excellent users with impeccable fit and finish. So if you've been thinking about one, yeah, then you know, maybe you should do like me, not wait 2 or 3 years.
That's a long time to miss out on something as nice as this.